So this is Alan Weinkrantz. I'm here at the Digital Home Summit in Orlando with Bernie Arnason, and we've just finished today's event. Lots of amazing speakers, lots of great content. Bernie, this is our third year doing this, your third year doing this, and I've been a part of it. How would you compare this year to the year before in terms of content and themes that you're seeing?
Yeah, I would say, Alan, the main difference between this year and last year is last year many of the topics were similar, but this year they're obviously more mature, and there was probably more theoretical discussion last year, whereas this year we had many more operators who have actually started doing some of the things we're talking about with the digital home. And many of the speakers were talking in much more real-world terms of actual deployments, actual real-life type situations relative to the digital home. So in my view, we've kind of moved away from talking about possibilities, although obviously there's so much there, there's still a tremendous amount of possibilities, but we're now starting to talk about realities of what's happening in the digital home and how both broadband carriers and what I call the digital home ecosystem, how they're beginning to actually put these things to practice and hopefully start making some money at it. So I would see that as kind of the main difference between last year and this year. A little shift from theory to actual practical discussion about how to take advantage of the digital home.
You know, and also this is in the context of the Fiber to the Home show that,
Yes.
that takes place here. The theme of that show is lighting the economy.
Right.
We have a president who talks about infrastructure, yet you don't hear about any of the political issues that go on with this wonderful deployment of the other part of our real infrastructure is this potential to reinvigorate our economy with fiber, and you're really at the receiving end of all of it, looking at the home.
Yeah.
And so where do you see the impact a little further out of really bringing fiber to the home and the wired home network and all the wireless technologies and all the content we heard today? One of the concluding events today that you spoke about, or they spoke about, was about the cloud.
Yeah.
And you normally think of the cloud in the vein of business.
Right.
Now they're talking about cloud in the home, talking about content delivery.
Yeah.
Where do you see the impact of the economy on fiber to the home?
Well, obviously, I mean, that's a pretty broad question. I think fiber to the home impacts the economy, let's say, in many ways. And first and foremost, it's laying the groundwork for the infrastructure of the broadband economy, right? And that infrastructure needs to be in place so that we can take advantage of everything that it has to offer and all of the economic development that it can enable, basically. So there is a lot of investment going on in fiber to the home, rightfully so. And you know, we'll begin to see it, and are beginning to see kind of the benefits of that really start to come to fruition. Our focus on the Digital Home Summit really says, okay, from a broadband carrier's point of view, now that you've got that infrastructure in place, how do you begin to monetize it? How do you actually start to generate revenue, incremental revenue over what you historically have generated? But also, how do you replace some of the revenues that your legacy network enabled, and those revenues are kind of in decline, and what you need to do is find ways to replace that revenue, and that's what really the digital home is all about, is finding those applications and those services that generate additional revenue over what you historically have been able to generate.
Separately from this event, you have Pivot, you have Telecompetitor. Tell us about the two other events.
Yeah, so this event is what we call a Telecompetitor Live event. Telecompetitor is our industry blog and newsletter and industry analysis vehicle where we really cover the issues that we're focused on today. And Pivot Media is the parent company of Telecompetitor. again, focused on industry analysis and consulting. So we work with a variety of clients to help them figure out what's the best way to build their business around these issues with broadband carriers and with the applications and services that this broadband economy creates.
Okay, well, thank you. Thank you for a great event. Going forward, any in your crystal ball, because of the things that you see, what's some advice for your readers going into 2012?
Well, we're obviously going to continue with this event. We see this as a very important event for the industry, really bringing to light some of these key issues. And I think, honestly, it's more of the same going forward. I think that there was a great analogy made in one of the sessions today that talked about, we as an industry can really see where we've been, and to a lot of extent we can see where we're going, but in between that there's kind of this hairball of all these different issues come into play, and it's very difficult to kind of figure it all out in the moment, but we know where we're headed, we know where we've been, and our goal is to help, decipher that hairball. What's going on within that hairball, and how do you best take advantage of whatever those opportunities are, and face the challenges that they bring.
Okay, well, thank you. Thank you for a great event. Thank you for great content. Thank you for daily reading on Telecompetitor, and I'll see you next year.
Okay, great. Thank you.
So this is Alan Weinkrantz for Everywire, signing off from the Digital Home Summit in Orlando, Florida.